it's making it so our build diversity is lessened and like it's favoring red builds. We know that, right? And so ideally, by kind of getting this in order, you're going to see an increase in build diversity again. And you're going to see skill builds and defensive builds be more viable. Or even like, you know, even builds, like a 2-2-2 kind of build.
Like a 2-2-2 kind of build.
Weak points exposed. Detecting weak points. Weak points exposed. Detecting weak points. Weak points exposed. Vital signs critical. Weak points exposed. Detecting weak points.
You're near Espinosa's last known position. The shade node should be close.
Hey, what is up, everyone? The LDB is back at it again, coming at you today with a super off-meta build, a 2-2-2 build. Now, I had this idea way back when Gear 2.0 first dropped, just trying to figure of something that would be very even, and going back watching some of the State of the Games, I heard a dev mention it, so you know what, I gave it a try, and to my surprise, this thing actually works out pretty good. There is a certain amount of comfort knowing that you have some DPS, you have good armor, and some skill tiers all at once. So as always, I hope you enjoy and find this video helpful. If you do, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button, subscribe for future content if you are new to the channel, and feel free to drop a comment down there below. So let's get into this. All right, everyone, and here it is. So as you can see over on the left, if we take a look at the core attributes, before we get into the madness that is this build, we have 2 reds, 2 blue, and 2 yellows. Trying to make it as even as possible, just a very broad build. You're going to be getting the best of all worlds, hitting a lot of bases with this build all at one time, and overall it's been working out a lot better than I had anticipated. Now, as far as the minor attributes go, I went a little bit more towards the DPS side. You could swing this any way you want, put a little bit more skill haste, more armor regen, whatever you want, but I'm focusing on the reds. As you can see, 10 reds, 1 blue, and 4 yellows. And we have the armor up to 1.1 million, which I have to say that's pretty good. You're going to be able to sustain yourself a little bit with that. Our health 276, and we are at skill tier 3. And that is because I am using the Nerf gun specialization, as you can see up top there. And that is going to push us 1 skill tier, as well as give us the option to spec into 10% skill healing or skill damage. I think I went with the healing just because when I'm off running these heroics by myself, I like to have a little bit more healing. You can't, have too much healing, I guess you could say, right? But that is the premise behind the build. Now let's get into these weapons. Alright, so for my primary weapon, I'm going to be using the Baker's Dozen. This weapon right here is hitting for 410,000 per bullet base damage, and that is base damage. It definitely goes a lot higher than that once we get these talents rolling. But I just wanted to point out that it's not the highest. Some of these builds that are hitting for 800,000, a million per bullet, that's awesome and all, but those are typically all red builds, and they're going to be lacking the survivability that we have with this armor, lacking the viability of using your skills at all, because if you don't have any skill tiers, we all know the skills really don't do a whole lot. So again, I just want to press the issue. I only have 2 reds on the build. I'm going for more of a well-rounded, just a bundle package deal. So sometimes the numbers will reflect that. But still, 410,000 per bullet base damage is higher than anything else I have in my stash as far as rifles go. And, it's been working out awesome. We have 180 RPM with 13 in the mag. Now, as far as the attributes go, we have 15% rifle damage maxed out, 13% crit hit damage, and 8.8% reload speed. And if you get one with reload speed, keep that on there. Don't roll it off there, because that actually does come into a play with a weapon that has 13 rounds in the magazine. You have to think about that. We're going to be reloading a little bit more often than typically. So the talent that comes with the weapon is actually going to help you out with that a lot as well. Perfect Lucky Shot. Magazine capacity is increased by 30%. Missed shots from cover have a 100% chance to return to the magazine. So if you're in cover, and you probably should be on a heroic or legendary mission, you can just spam those bullets, and if you miss them, no big deal. They come right back to the magazine. And if you land them, hey, even better, right? And if you're like me, someone that's not the best marksman, this will definitely help you out a lot. Now, as far as the mods go, we have the scope on here that's going to give us the 3.4 times zoom, so I can zoom in a little bit, but nothing crazy. We do get that 5 crit chance from it, as well as the magazine down here that gives us the plus 20% reload speed. So again, if you can push that reload speed a little bit, that's definitely a good thing. And we also have the laser pointer on here giving me another 5% crit chance. This weapon does not have a muzzle mod. That's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. So that is my primary. My secondary weapon is the Merciless. I think everyone knows what this is. Hitting for 126,000 per bullet base damage, 400 RPM with 30 in the mag. Now, this is not the best rolled by any means, but it's the only one that I have. So I've been using it, and really, it's still working out pretty nice because it comes with the talent Binary Trigger. This weapon fires on trigger pull and release. If both bullets hit the same enemy, gain a stack. At 7 stacks, shooting an enemy creates a 7-meter explosion, dealing 900% weapon damage, consuming the stacks. And it's actually kind of fun when you do this. It's something different. I know it's a lot different than how the Merciless was before, but it's still fun to use and very effective. And as far as my sidearm goes, nothing crazy. Backup boomstick, we've seen this before. It's all maxed out, so if you get into a pinch, pull this out, boom, boom. And if you can take an NPC down, you get preservation on there. Killing an enemy repairs 10% armor over 5 seconds. Headshot kills improve by additional 10%. So it's a little way to get a little bit of armor back if you really get into a pinch. But overall, I haven't even had to use this. So that's about it for the weapons. Let's get on to these gear pieces. Alright, so let's start out with the mask here. It is the exotic Coyote mask. I absolutely love this thing, so be sure there will be more builds coming very soon that are going around this mask. I got really lucky with this one, 15% weapon damage maxed out. Got some crit chance, crit damage on there with a mod that pushes that crit chance a little bit farther. Now as far as the talent goes on here, this is really what makes it. We have Pack Instincts. You and all allies gain a bonus based on the distance of the last enemy you hit. And with a rifle, you can hit an enemy at a distance, at a good range, right? So 0 to 15 meters, you and your team is going to get plus 25% crit hit damage. 15 to 25 meters, 10 crit hit damage and 10 crit chance. And 25 plus meters, 25% crit hit chance. That is absolutely awesome. So if you're hitting them at a distance, you're easily going to be maxing out your crit chance. Typically, from what I've found, you're going to be hitting anywhere between the 15 and 25 meter mark. So you get best of both worlds. You get some crit chance and damage. So gotta love that right there. Overall, I absolutely love this thing, like I said, and this is definitely a nice one to pair with that rifle. So let's get on to the rest of them. Alright, so for the chest piece, it is China Light. We get that plus 15% explosive damage just for wearing it, and that goes hand in hand with the Merciless. It used to have more of an impact before, but, you know, if we can get that Merciless explosion to go off and have it be 15% more, I mean, why not, right? That's kind of my thinking. Now, as far as the core attribute goes, plus 1 skill tier, and we have the attributes of crit chance and crit damage on there. Not the best of rolls, but hey, it is something. Now, as far as the mod goes, 19.5% repair skills. Gotta love that right there. That's definitely going to help our hive out a lot. Now I just wanted to take note that the mask has the red core with the red mod slot. The chest has the yellow core with the yellow mod slot, and the backpack has the blue core with the blue mod slot. I just tried to line those up, make them as even as possible for you, you know, just, well, to make it as even as possible for you. Now, as far as the talent goes on here, we have Spark. Damaging enemies with a skill increases total weapon damage by 15% for 15 seconds. I'm using 2 damage up skills for the chest and the backpack. Just another side note right there. But that really helps out awesome. When you throw your turret out there, that has its own damage. It's going to be doing its own damage, and then you focus as well on the same NPC if possible. I mean, they go down like nothing. Absolutely amazing right there. So don't overlook that, and don't overlook that turret either. That thing is doing some work with the tiers that we have. Alright, so for the holster, it is Richter and Kaiser. We get the plus 15% incoming repairs just for wearing it. Gotta love that right there. Doesn't matter if you're going solo or if you're in a group, another 15% incoming repairs will definitely help you out. Now, as far as the core attribute, plus 1 skill tier, and the attributes down here, 10% skill damage maxed out. That's going to be helping out my turret, as well as 19.8% repair skills almost maxed out. That's going to be helping out my hive. So we're definitely going to be doing some good healing as well as some decent damage with that turret. Gotta love this holster. And onto the knee pads here. They are the Fox's Prayer high-end Overlord named knee pads. We get that 10% rifle damage just for wearing them. That's nice there. And we also have the core attribute 15% weapon damage maxed out with the attribute 15% damage to targets out of cover, which is exclusive as far as I know to these knee pads. So if you can get some of these, they were selling these in the vendor a while back, or if you get one of these to drop, definitely hang on to it. This will definitely help you out a lot. That is a lot better than any kind of crit chance damage, anything that you can get. 15% damage to targets out of cover is just another 15% raw damage. So don't overlook these knee pads. And as far as the other attribute, we have another 16.7% repair skill. So we're pushing it that much more. I mean, I got a pretty good roll on these knee pads, I'll have to say. Gotta love these. And onto the gloves. They are Seska. We get that 10% crit chance just for wearing them. You could go with Grupo Sombra if you wanted to get your crit damage up a little bit higher, if you already had your crit chance nice and cozy, but I just wanted to push that crit chance a little bit further. We have that max armor roll on there. That's definitely going to be helping us out a lot. The attributes, again, are not the best, but it's the rolls that I need. You know what I mean? The brand set lines up. We get the extra crit chance. We get the extra crit chance and damage roll, even though they're not the best. And I actually had to roll armor onto the piece. So that's basically why this is really probably the weakest link in the chain right now. But overall, it's still been working out just fine. So onto that backpack. Alright, so on to the last piece, the backpack. It is Gilligard. We get that plus 5% total armor just for wearing it. We have a maxed out armor roll on there. We have some weapon handling on there, which is really nice for a weapon that has some nice recoil, like a rifle. Especially that Merciless. Oh my god, that is just terrible. But we also have some crit chance on there as well, just a little bit, not a whole lot, but it's starting to build up, as well as 17.5% incoming repairs. So we're pushing that incoming repairs as well as the repair skills, all that good stuff as much as possible, and it should be keeping you alive just fine. And that's why I went with 2 damage ups for the talents. I went with Spark on the chest piece, and we went with Unstoppable Force on the backpack. Killing an enemy increases total weapon damage by 5% for 15 seconds. Stacks up to 5 times. So that is, you know, it's essentially 25% weapon damage up. And as long as you keep taking NPCs down, you're just going to keep this rolling. I gotta love that there. You could always go with Composure, since again, we are going to be in cover the majority of the time, but that's just a straight 15%. It does not stack, it doesn't do anything like that. This, at least, we can push it a little bit more than that, just that regular 15%. So that is the build in itself. Let's get on to these skills now. Alright, so on to the skills. As you can see over here, I'm going to be using the Assault Turret. Now, you could use whatever turret you want, or really, in all honesty, you could use really any kind of damage up skill that you want, other than the Bleed Hive or anything like that, because obviously we're going to be using a Restorer Hive. That's, in my opinion, the best thing for healing, so we wouldn't be able to use a Hive, but other than that, I mean, you know, the Seekers, anything like that, they will still be doing some damage because we are at skill tier 3. So anything that you use, whatever it is, it's going to have a little extra oomph behind it. And as you can see on the right-hand side here, skill tier 3 gives the turret another plus 60% damage and plus 210% health. And if that was applied to, say, some Seeker Mines or anything like that, hey, that's not a bad thing, right? Now, as far as the cooldown goes, 24.5 seconds. The duration, 195 seconds. So as long as you put it in a decent place and it doesn't get popped, it's going to be there for a second. And the health on it, 3.2 million hit points. So if they're shooting at it, that's going to take a little bit for them to get it down. And the damage per bullet, 52.9. So basically 53,000 per bullet. Now, that doesn't look like a lot. It's not a big deal. But when it bursts, you know, 10 rounds at an NPC and it hits them, that adds up real quick. Now, as far as the red bars, this will chew them up, no problem. But the purples and the yellows, it has a little bit tougher time because they have that armor bar. But once that armor bar is off, this thing hits them pretty hard. So don't overlook this one right here. Definitely try this one out. Now, as far as keeping you alive, I really recommend the Restorer Hive. As you can see, the refill speed here is 3 seconds. Not too bad at all. On the healer build that I did just a little bit ago, it was only 1 second. So it's a little bit of a different change of pace for me. But regardless, 3 seconds is still not bad. We still have 26 charges. So if you are on a team, you're still doing all right. The range, 10 meters. We have the duration of 50.6 seconds, so it's a little under a minute. That's the only thing I'm like, that could be better. The health, 2.5 million hit points, so again, it's going to take a little bit to pop it. And the healing, 157,000 hit points. I mean, so not too bad. And if you take a look down here, again, skill tier 3 gives you plus 10 repair charges, plus 60% healing, plus 60% range, and plus 210% health. So again, just being at skill tier 3, nothing overpowered, nothing too crazy. Just enough to get it to work for you and just be backing you up. You know what I mean? That's all we're looking for. So essentially that is it, guys. Let's take a look at the stat sheet and do a little breakdown. Alright everyone, so before we go ahead and sign off, let's just do a quick little recap breakdown here on the stat sheet. Now the weapon talents, again, that I'm going with, my primary, Perfect Lucky Shot, secondary, Binary Trigger, the sidearm there is Preservation, and we also have some guided missiles. Gotta love that. Now as far as the weapon stats go, we're talking 410,000 per bullet base damage, 44.9% crit hit chance, basically 45%, and in my opinion, when you're using the Coyote mask, as long as you're at about 40 to 50% crit hit chance, you're good. Really, I wouldn't say go for maxing it out. I would say at that point start pushing your crit hit damage because you will not be utilizing the procs from the crit hit chance that you'll be getting from the mask. If that makes sense. You're basically rendering that useless. So just basically get to enough crit chance and let that mask push you the rest of the way. Now as far as the crit hit damage, 68.9%. Headshot damage, 60%. Look at this range. Oh boy, 60 meters. You can reach out and touch someone with this boy. This is great. 2.3 second reload time because we have a 32.3% reload speed bonus. Gotta love that. A little bit of accuracy, stability, nothing too crazy. A little bit of weapon handling. Now, as far as offense goes, 34.6% all weapon damage bonus and 40% rifle damage bonus. So we're still over 70% weapon damage up. So it's still going to be working pretty good. Again, it's nothing crazy OP, but it's still working very well, and everything synergizes very nice. Now, as far as the gear talents go, once these start going, then your damage really gets going. We got Unstoppable Force, we got Spark, and Pack Instincts. Those three together, oh boy, that is nasty. Now, as far as the gear brands go, this one says no gear set brand because it's the Coyote mask. It's an exotic. We have One Piece Gila, One Piece China, One Piece Seska, One Piece Richter Kaiser, and One Piece Overlord. Blah. I know it's kind of a lot to go over, but I mean, in all honesty, you shouldn't have a problem, finding these in your stash or in the open world at all. Now, as far as defense goes, we have 1.1 million armor, so we have something to fall back on. It's not just, glass cannon, we're going to go down in 2 shots. No, I mean, well, sometimes still, but overall, you have much better odds, right? We have some max health, 276,000, a little bit of health regen, 32.5% incoming repairs. So any kind of repair skill that we have, 32.5% stronger. Gotta love that there. We have a little bit of hazard going on, nothing too crazy there. Overall, that's just a little bit. Need to start working on that on my watch. But other than that, the skills, we already went over them, but really quick. Again, skill tier 3, 2.2% skill haste. Bleh, not too good there. 24.5 second cooldown, 195 duration, 3.2 million health, 52,000 damage. And, I mean, overall, that's been working out great. I think that's definitely an overlooked skill for sure. Now, as far as the hive goes, again, skill tier 3, little bit of haste, 3-second refill speed, 26 charges, 10 meter range, 50 duration, 2.5 million health, 157,000 healing, not too bad. And, that's about it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my 222 build for TU8.5. This really is something different and fun to use, and I recommend that you at least give it a try or something like it. I hope you all enjoyed and found this video helpful. If you did, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button, subscribe for future content if you are new to the channel, and feel free to drop a comment down there below. So until next time, guys, hope you take it easy. I will see you then. Later.